Hey, what's up? My name is Yuvraj. Just starting his YouTube channel. Just on my random thoughts about things. Haven't really thought about where I'm going to be taking it yet exactly. Have had a few ideas of contemplated. Sorry, but just gonna kind of go off the cuff. Now this is a little bit unscripted. I do have a topic I kind of want to get into, but excuse me if there's any just pauses like that one. So. Um, Yeah, I'm heavily into the whole seduction community and the whole picking up girls thing. I find social dynamics extremely interesting. Obviously, I'm a guy. I like meeting new girls. All and all that stuff. But more than that, I honestly do find social interactions really interesting. How human beings work and all that, and how we just interact with each other. So I mean, this I'm always like really a little dumbfounded about how our current generation works. I'm currently 20 years old. Um, Gonna be 21 in about 9 days, 10 days. May 10th, baby. Still a very young dude. Absolutely. I consider myself pretty aware for my age, pretty mature for my age. But outside of that, just going through my whole life, I've noticed that a lot of people my generation and just everybody any age 20, 30, 40 in 2017 we're all very antisocial. um Funny because right now as we speak social media is bigger than it's ever been. You have so many platforms. You have Facebook has been around for about a decade now. You had Twitter, still fairly big, Snapchat, um, fucking Instagram, just a bunch, just a few smaller ones there too. You can do anything online. You can even meet new people. You can find people interested in hooking up with you, like Tinder, OkCupid. I don't know, fucking Bumble is a new one that I heard about. Um, there's a lot you can do online. Social interaction has been made technological. Yeah, I mean everything is going on this thing right here, and that's cool. It's pretty interesting. It saves us a lot of time. Not everybody has the not everybody has an hour, 2 hours to go on a date. Um, or just meet new people online. Everybody's free to go out 5 6 times a week. I understand that. So I think social media is a really good way to outsource that part of our life for us. But at the same time, I think that's made us extremely, extremely socially awkward, antisocial, the whole gig. You know, Doctors prescribe, you know, anxiety medications to people, and just, like ADD, all these social disorders, I guess, to people, and they think it's because of a chemical thing or a genetic thing, but really, I mean, if you look at it, our generation, like, how often do you talk to real people that are outside of your friends from schools or friends from work, or really in your social circle in one sense? Pretty much never. um, Now the reasons behind that, in my opinion, I'll get to that later, but let's kind of think about this. I mean, person watching this video, you more than likely, let's say you're my age, a little bit older. You probably have at least a handful of friends, at least a few, maybe one or two really good friends. And most of the people that you have in your life right now, maybe even the girls that maybe the girl that you're dating, the girl that you're married to, whoever it may be, whoever, some girl that you're texting right now, more than likely you did meet her through your social circle. That could be through, if you're in high school, maybe that could be maybe in your university. That could be through your job, whether that's on a corporate level or let's say you work at McDonald's. Doesn't really matter. Um, More than likely, that person was introduced to you by someone else, or you met them because you have mutual friends, or just some kind of scenario like that. How often do you meet a person out of your own initiative? It's considered so weird now, to try and generate a relationship out of thin air. Imagine you're walking through this busy street and somebody approaches you, to be your friend because they think you're interesting, that you look interesting, or some, let's say you're a girl and a guy, approaches you. I'm sure it's happened, but let's say a guy approaches you because he thinks you're hot, thinks you're attractive, and he wants to get to know you better. He wants to fuck you. He wants to date you, whatever it may be. Um, I'm sure all girls, most girls have been hit on, whether that's just like in passing, like hey, that type of shit, or just having a guy like genuinely come up to you. I'm sure it's happened to some capacity. Um, but it's just considered so weird to people to the point where it kills people's confidence to want to keep doing it. A good example is like right now whenever I walk through the streets and I live in Vancouver, Canada. I live in downtown. um, I'm walking through the streets and let's say it's in the afternoon, it's like the weekend, there's just tons of people around, just really shit packed downtown. um, and I see an attractive girl, let's say, and I try and stop her, like, hey, I thought you were attractive, had to come in, say hi to you, see what you were like. Most girls will be fucking shocked, right? And that's, they have all the right in the world to reject you. That's totally fine if they're not really into engaging with a person right then. It could be for a multitude of reasons. Maybe they've had a bad day. They're just they're maybe they have a boyfriend. It could be fucking anything. But let's just say they're not in the mood to engage with you. Most people will look at you weirdly, like, what the fuck is that? Like, why is this guy doing that? That's so weird, like. um, some people think it's rude to that point, hell, let's even knock trying to uh, trying to flirt with a girl. Let's even knock that out of the way. Let's say you're even approaching people to ask them for the time. Really harmless. For example, I remember today I asked a few people for the time for just a fuck. I mean, I'll get into that later why I was doing that, maybe in a future video. um, but I'll see a girl, maybe I'll see even a guy, let's say maybe like 10 feet away from me, and I'll be like, I'll put my hand up to signal that I want to stop them, to ask them something, or even just ask them something in passing by. And you'll see them flinch. They'll kind of look at me like, they'll look at you weirdly, and then some people will even try to ignore you for a second and hope that you don't talk to them. And some people just ignore you, and that's it's totally fine, I guess. But like, people just try to evade social interaction with people they don't know so desperately. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. um I remember this one girl that I stopped for a time. I put my hand up and she looked at me. She looked at me, and then she looked away. And then I was like, "Hey, excuse me." And then she looked at me again, kind of like flinching a little bit. I was like, "Hey, do you know what time it is?" And then she just kind of looked at me again. I was like, "No, no, no. Do you know what time it is?" And then she finally said, "Oh, I don't know." That stutter too. Just I don't know, and just kind of walked away. That's totally fine, but to her, it's, for example, to that girl, I mean, obviously I don't know her background, I don't know her life story, but to her, it's like, holy shit, a random person I don't know, don't talk to him, don't talk to him. Oh. Now, I thought about this. I was like, man, like, why would a person not want to engage with me, with anybody? I mean, I don't look like a serial killer. I don't look scary by any means. I wasn't dressed inappropriately. I didn't look like weird in any way. Why wouldn't a person want to interact with me? Now, obviously I can't just blame that on myself, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I tried to think about a time where maybe I was walking through the street and somebody tried to stop me and I tried to avoid it, right? And a good example would be maybe if some salesperson is on the street trying to sell people something, and you try, we've all done this when somebody's trying to sell something on the street, give something, handing something out, we just kind of like ignore them and hope that they don't talk to us, or maybe take like the longer way around to avoid them. But I thought, why would I do that too? And I thought, man, the only way I would ever not want to interact with somebody would be if maybe they're scary looking, I find them intimidating, or maybe it's because maybe I'm insecure, or I don't want to get rejected, or I don't want to look weird. I think, that's a whole other realm that people I haven't really thought about. Maybe we're so awkward with each other because we're all so sensitive to rejection, or maybe because we're all so insecure, or maybe we're afraid to come off weird that we reject other people. And then it just becomes like this negative cycle where, you're rejecting that person to save yourself from feeling awkward, and that person feels rejected, so they feel like shit. This becomes kind of unfortunate. So, I mean, people, we're becoming more and more antisocial, I feel like. And I think social freedom, this whole concept of social freedom, if you're somebody that can talk to random people, not even being comfortable in doing it, but if you can just approach people, whether that's because you need something or you're just genuinely interested in them, you're probably, in the top 5%, if not even the top 1% of people, in my experience. And I've been doing this pickup shit a while. Um, Let alone even hitting on a girl. If you can just, even stop a person to ask them about anything, I think the vast majority of people cannot do that. The absolute, like, a big chunk of people cannot do that shit. Um, so there's definitely something to be said about the power of social freedom. Um, because you're missing out on a lot if you're not able to communicate with strangers. Not only are you going to be limited to who your potential girlfriend, wife, hookup, whatever is, whatever whoever your next sexual partner is, but in terms of networking, you never know who you could meet relevant to your um, employment, relevant to your kind of path career wise. You never know who you could meet in terms of a good best friend. There's so many things to gain from going out of your way to meeting new people. Um, it doesn't seem obvious, but I can't think of even one. No, I take that back. I say above 95% of the time, really 100% of the time, you're always gonna learn something from talking to a new person, even if they completely ignore you, or even if they tell you to fuck off. You'll learn something. There's definitely nothing to lose out of going out of your way to meet new people. So, if you're watching this video right now, and when I was explaining earlier about qualities of people that are antisocial, and um, common things that they do, like look away or avoid social interaction with people they don't know, I challenge you, this week, or hell, even over the next week, if you can go out of your way to just speak to like one or two new people. You know what, I'll make it even exact. Go out of your way to talk to one new person, um, every day for the next 7 days. See how that goes. And it doesn't even have to be full on engagement. You can even just make a small comment. You can even say hi on passing. Definitely encourage you to do more. do as much as you can. But yeah, just talk to one new person a day. It can be a 5-second conversation. It can be a comment. It can be a long 10-minute conversation. I don't whatever kind of mode you're in, I guess. Try that out, and report back to me. Comment below. Let me know what your experience was with it, how it went. Is this somebody you want to keep talking to? Maybe if it's somebody the opposite sex, is this someone who you want to get involved with? What your kind of experience was, and I think you'll definitely enjoy it. One more thing I will add is that I'm not sure if you know this. A lot of people know that human beings are social creatures. We're designed to interact with each other. Men are instinctively made to want to sleep with women, and vice versa. And when you shut out the world, you will find that your quality of life suffers. I know, for example, when I haven't, left my house in a day or two, or when I haven't really talked to too many people, I feel down. I feel pretty shitty. I feel like I'm in a bad mood. I feel lazy. I don't want to do anything. But even and then let's say I go to the store. I go to the nearest pharmacy or something, and even talking to the cashier there for 2 seconds, I'll suddenly feel a ton better. It's pretty beautiful how that shit works. Very interesting stuff. I'm sure you guys have had a similar experience. So yeah, go try out that challenge for the next 7 days. Pour back to me. This is Yuvraj signing off on antisocial behavior, and yeah, go talk to some people.